Can AI replace researchers? AI is not going anywhere anytime soon, so can we best utilize it for our benefit as researchers? Now, if you take a trip down memory lane, we know the internet took the world by storm when it actually came out. It revolutionized everything that we see around us, and now we are dependent on it. But then Web 3.0 came out recently, then crypto, then blockchain, then these decentralized currencies that I have no idea how they work still. Like, honestly, I have no idea what a non-fungible token is. But the notion is that there's a lot of revolutionary tech out there. But in amongst all of that is the notion of AI. And AI is going to take the world by storm. We've already seen some implications with ChatGPT. Recently I made a video about can ChatGPT help you write your thesis. Link is down in the video description. And when I was doing that video, it made me realize on a wider scale how important AI can be in terms of research as a whole, and does it actually have the capacity to replace us as research. So to best understand all of this, let's break it down into two segments in this video. First, we need to understand what a researcher actually is, and then how AI can replace it, and then what AI could do and can't do, and why I believe AI cannot replace researchers, but AI can help enhance what researchers actually do. So what do researchers do? Now, a lot of you who are watching me on this channel, if you want to subscribe, you can do whilst you are thinking. A lot of you are researchers, I hope, and if you're not, welcome. And the notion of researchers in terms of a definition, I was looking it up and there is a long-winded answer, but the short answer is that we essentially solve problems like anybody else does. But researchers, we look into our niche, we look at what problems there are, what gaps in knowledge there are in terms of the current understanding of our field, and then we pursue in terms of designing experiments to try and fill in those gaps or solve the problems that we can in our field. That's generally the kind of the crux of what research does. Can they think of solutions and then design experiments to confirm or disprove if those conclusions can actually happen? So we might be increasing the speed of something, we're trying to reduce the likelihood of something, we're trying to invent something that works faster, or treat something quicker, or be more cost effective, or improve the efficiency of something. And these are very vague terms because it can apply to anything. That's what researchers are, from health and life sciences to business and law to art and design to computer and engineering to AI, pun intended, definitely, I think. But back to the point is that we essentially try and solve things. Now, if you take my research role or my previous research postdoc role, I was a kind of an immunologist. I was in the respiratory pharmacology field, and my role was, right, I'm in the asthma field, the severe asthma field. My role was to look at, right, this is a problem. People who are severe asthmatics, they take a lot of steroids, and sometimes those steroids do not work. So that's not the problem. My role as a researcher was to try and figure out through experiments, is there a way to stop that resistance from occurring? Finding the source as to how that resistance actually occurs, and then could we reverse that resistance when it actually occurred? Could we kind of change the person's profile so then they do become respondent to steroids? So those were the problems. So that's what a researcher is. That's what a researcher would have as a typical problem in the kind of health sciences field. Now, can AI actually help that and replace me? So now I'm going to list all the things I actually did as a researcher. I was designing experiments, I was talking with patients, I was helping to collect blood, I was then, spinning this blood down to collect certain cells, I was growing cells in the lab, and then I was, conducting experiments with or without steroids. I was analyzing the data, then I would conclude a report. There's a lot of little mini things in there, but that's kind of the crux of what I was doing in that postdoc for 3 years. Now that we understand that, I'll put it on the screen here. So this is a list of what I did as a researcher. Can AI replace all of that? So looking at all of what you see on the screen, AI in terms of it is entity. I'm not going to talk about definitions of AI because that's a whole rabbit hole. There's symposiums and lectures and seminars all talking about what do you define as AI as a whole. There's machine learning, there's algorithm learning, there's AI. I'm not a specialist, so I'm not going to talk about it. What I'm going to talk about is the notion of AI. Could that replace as a researcher? Now, the question is, on the screen you see here, the only thing I could think of that AI could replace me in terms of researcher was the ability to collect all of the current understanding of asthma in terms of the literature out there. So there's a lot of AI-powered softwares now that researchers can use within a matter of seconds to collate all of the current understanding in a particular field. AI can well and truly, and I would happily allow AI to replace me on that front. Why? Because it saves time. And this is the notion of this entire video. AI can accelerate us as researchers. It can enhance us as researchers and do the grunt work we potentially might not like to do, especially in the field of finding data that's currently out there, a lot quicker than we do. Now, think about it as a kind of like a flow diagram you can see on the screen, if I can do it well in post. You've got finding data, collecting the data, and then sharing the data, right? And the different nuances within that. So in terms of finding the data, in terms of current understanding of the field, AI can help that massively. You can increase the ability to find everything super quick. That's fine, we've established that already. Conducting the data, there's not many things that AI can do that could replace me in the lab. So as a researcher there, I don't think AI could do that. Collect the cells, could AI really grow the cells themselves and then monitor it and then put it into a 6-well plate and then, you know, add different concentrations of steroids? Don't think so. Maybe in the future, currently not now. So that's the middle part. Then disseminating the data. AI could help with that in terms of once you have a paper, sharing it to all the different platforms, making sure people can have it and improving the ability to share that to the research world. Yes, I'm sure AI can help that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of publishers and a lot of kind of, you know, agencies that help to share data, so scientific communication, might be using AI to find the right people to see the right paper. Fine. So from start and the finish, AI can definitely help, but the middle, AI, in my opinion, cannot. But you're probably wondering, why in particular can AI not do it? You've mentioned the points now, but why in particular? AI can do a lot of things, but I feel as humans, one of our greatest strengths is our uniqueness in terms of our mind, the way our minds think. AI and a lot of computers are only as good as the information it is fed and the designs and algorithms it is coined to do. Now, with us, we are very unique in the way we think. Everybody can look at the same picture or the same landscape and think of 1,000 different things. Now, yes, AI could generate 1,000 different permutations, but the uniqueness of how we tackle problems is one of our greatest strengths, and I don't think AI anytime soon, in my current understanding and my current opinion, I think AI can actually replace the mindset of a human. Now, to add to this, there's a lot of AI in terms of deep fakes, so you can mimic somebody's face to look identical. I remember there was a Morgan Freeman GIF out there where it looked like Morgan Freeman, but it wasn't Morgan Freeman. And it sounded like Morgan Freeman, but it wasn't Morgan Freeman. If I can find it, I'll put it on the screen here. So that might be AI helping in terms some aspects of the human condition, but not the mind, unfortunately. And that's why I see researchers, along with other different jobs that are out there, our greatest attribute as researchers is our ability to think, ID patterns and trends and commonalities, and look at a certain situation, a certain problem, and devise very innovative ways to try and tackle it. Now, that is something researchers are kind of given, reputation for, in the sense of we do a PhD, we have these accreditations and accolades in our ability to think. A lot of the stuff we do in the lab or in the field or with participants is kind of like labour. A lot of people unfortunately look at medics who are doctors and say that's just skilled labour because you're just looking at X, Y, and Z. A lot of people look at different jobs and say that that's purely labour. There isn't much kind of thinking to a high level needed. And yes, because that type of job requires more physical strength, requires other attributes that we are as humans, but researchers require thinking. And I don't think AI at this moment in time can replace the mind of a human, and in particular the mind of a researcher. Am I worried about AI? 100%. Everyone has this in the back of their mind, the whole Terminator AI, Skynet, everything. That's it. Of course it's a worry. If AI has the ability to think for itself, yeah, massive problem, and all sorts of permutations can occur. But we can't focus on things we can't control at the moment. AI seems to be very safe. A lot of people are using AI in a very controlled manner. That's helping. Great. There's a lot of machine learning advancements in terms of like true AI. Again, I'm not going to talk about what is classified as true AI and true artificial intelligence. But for now, I don't think AI can replace us as researchers. And the reason why I wanted to make this video is that if you are doing a PhD, you can continue. Don't say my word for it. I'm not the president of the independent global PhD initiative, just a guy trying to help. And I think rest assured that utilize AI from the different components I mentioned, in terms of start finding data that's out there, and then sharing your data in terms of papers and stuff. There's a lot of AI softwares now to help with that. Great. But still focus on what you need to do as a researcher, whether you're in the lab, whether you're with participants, whether you're in the field, whatever it is, you can continue. Dr. Singh gives you the go ahead. So I hope you enjoyed my take on the whole notion of AI in terms of research. If you wanted to check out that video about ChatGPT and how it can actually help you with your thesis, you can check it over here. I have been Aamir saying, do subscribe if you would like to, and I shall see you in the next one. Take care.